Welcome back, Nerd Squad. My name is Roy Destroya, and this is Top 10 Nerd. A lot of superheroes, after several years, go through some tweaks and mods to keep them looking fresh. You wouldn't want to be in the same outfit for 50 plus years either. Sometimes the costume change is to further a plot line, sometimes it's just the artist trying something new, sometimes it's awesome, and sometimes it's very, very bad. So let's take a look at the top 10 superhero costume changes. In the number 10 spot, we have Superman. Superman went through a pretty big costume change when he acquired electrical powers, and not everyone was crazy about this electro blue Superman, but it was just a temporary change for a story arc. However, the outrage was nothing compared to when Superman's trademark red undies were scrapped from his character design in the relaunched DC universe. This is because the underwear seemed silly, out of place, and didn't make a whole lot of sense. But apparently some fans prefer a version of the hero who gets confused on where to put his undergarments. Coming in at number 9 is Daredevil. Daredevil made his debut in a costume very different from the one we know him in today. His costume was meant to reflect the appearance of colorful circus tights, and thus was more of a yellow suit with some black and even less red. When Wally Wood took the reins on the art, the yellow portions were replaced with red, and the Daredevil mask was remodeled as eyeless to look more eerie. It was this design that triggered the more morose portrayal of Daredevil that we are all more familiar with. Next, at number 8, we've got Iron Fist. You think being a superhero you would have the resources to either buy or make yourself a costume that actually fits. Didn't seem to be the case with Iron Fist in the 70s, who looked a lot more like a disco dancer than a martial artist. Luckily, Iron Fist received a revamp about 30 years later, and with that came a working zipper for the front apparently, and an overall much more sleek and suitable design. In the number 7 spot is Thor. This one makes the list for being so bad that it's actually hilarious. When he was in the DC vs Marvel series, Thor decided to change up his look a bit for the big battle. What that included was a switch to 4-foot hair extensions, multiple straps that served no purpose, huge shoulder pads, and a cute little crop top. It was kind of like he took a page out of books from both a white girl at a music festival and a member of Motley Crue. Also, imagine how long it took him to get dressed in the morning. Coming in at number 6 is AQUAMAN. Everyone's favorite neglected superhero debuted in the 40s, so you would think there were still plenty of costume ideas out there he could have received. Instead, there's something fishy about this initial orange and green costume, in that it's entirely uncreative and lackluster. It's like they weren't even trying. Luckily, though he may not have received the same dignity as other heroes on this list, he did get a costume update by Peter David in the 90s, with a gladiator-inspired getup and harpoon hand. Now you can talk to fish and look cool doing it. Next up at number 5 we have Invisible Woman. Even though she's literally Supermom, some hardcore attempts were made to slut up Sue Storm. We will never forget the 90s debut of the new Invisible Woman costume, which asked for her to be anything but invisible. Tired of her frumpy blue, Sue sheds the Fantastic Four suit and decides to wear what she was apparently wearing underneath the suit instead, complete with cleavage in the shape of a 4. This look did not sit well with some fans, but I didn't hear too many guys complaining. Up next at number 4 is Black Widow. When the Russian superhero made her debut in 1964, she was depicted frequently as not in a costume, but rather evening wear, and her face and short black hair were often under a veil. It seemed a lot like she was about to watch the ballet rather than think she trained in it. When Black Widow reappeared in 1970, her appearance was updated to longer red hair and the tight black costume we are all more familiar with. In the number 3 spot we have Spider-Man. Spidey's red and blue suit has been one of those that's remained largely unchanged over the years, and has been consistently recognizable. However, in the 80s, as part of a storyline, his costume was destroyed and he wore a new black costume instead. And with that came different powers and different demeanor, namely moody and violent. Some fans were pretty upset about this new Spidey, but it was actually a lot of fun to see him take a ride on the wild side. Now, if only Spider-Man 3 had treated it with the same respect. I still cringe when I think of that movie. Coming in at number 2 is Batman. This costume change was so tiny but so significant to Batman fans. The original version of Batman did not have the yellow oval behind the bat logo on the costume. However, this was added for the new look of the 1960s to make the logo easier to trademark. The change was highly controversial because many fans felt the bright yellow was out of place, but Frank Miller then placed a purpose behind the yellow to put everyone at ease. That that it was to draw attacks to the most armored part of Batman's suit. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we've got Robin. When it came to the boy wonder of the 1940s, Dick Grayson, one had to wonder what was going on with the young boy's costume. He was clad in what appeared to be the miniest of green mini shorts, little booties, and a life vest, and the shaving of the legs must have been crazy. By the time Tim Drake got the mantle of Robin, however, the costume got a total makeover for the better. Better boots, better suit, and much more pant leg. Now he looked fit to fight crime, as opposed to before when he looked a lot more ready to go paddleboarding. So those were the top 10 superhero costume changes. Let me know in the comments section down below who's been your favorite character revamp so far. My name is Roya Destroya, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another nerdy list.